Welcome to the channel, everybody, and the Minnesota Twins franchise on MLB The Show 18 as we dive into episode number 55. And we left off last episode with a very solid 15-6 record. But we also suffered another injury and a major one to infielder Yunel Escobar. And so I had to ask the question, is it time to bring up one of our top prospects in Nick Gordon? This was brought up many times in the comments, and I agree. If he isn't going to be an everyday starter, it's not worth it. So I called up instead the 29-year-old A-Ray Adrianza, and also sent up Angel Vielma to take over his spot at AAA, because he's another great shortstop prospect that I want to see develop. I then went to make another roster move for a free agent who actually did a pretty good job negotiating with me, but we end up signing Breivik Valera to a minor league deal. So we move forward a few more games and the Twins win 2 of them. Here was the 8-4 win over Pittsburgh that saw us hit 3 home runs with Goldschmidt, Rosario, and Byron Buxton. Maxwell Fowler gets his 4th win of the season as well. So let's jump into today's action. We have a series against the LA Angels, and Yadier Alvarez takes the mound to open the series. He's had 4 starts and has done a really good job so far, with about a strikeout every inning, 3.33 ERA. He's improved a lot from last year and even spring training. Here in the first, a quick fly ball into right, and that is caught by Nelson Cruz, who gets the outfield start in this game. And then, of course, you have the great Mike Trout hitting over 320 this year. And the 1-1 pitch to Trout is lifted deep to center. It's going back to the wall. And Blackman watches this one go over the fence as Trout puts the first run on the board. That's only the 2nd home run allowed this year by Alvarez. For the Twins, we face Matt Shoemaker, and we give Joe Mauer the start at first base. So no Byron Buxton, no Paul Goldschmidt in this first game. And Mauer looks to answer Trout. However, this one goes foul. So what does this turn into? A full count at bat here for Joe Mauer. And in true Joe Mauer fashion, he teases you with the long ball and then just draws a walk with 2 outs. That brings up Miguel Sano. 1-2 count and grounded up the middle, past short and into the outfield. 2 aboard now for the Twins, trying to start a 2-out rally. And here is Nelson Cruz looking at strike 3, low in the zone. Shoemaker gets out of trouble and will take this into the 2nd inning. We have Eugenio Suarez at bat, lifting this into the shallow portion of the outfield, and it drops in front of Charlie Blackman, who moves over to center field for this game. And on first, as Alvarez clips the outside corner, 2-1, can't quite get the upper corner. Full count. And drilled into left and past Rosario. He had a chance to make the line drive catch. Instead, it goes all the way toward the warning track, and the Angels get 2 runners in scoring position. This could have been the 2nd out right here, and it's certainly not an easy play to make. It's just really unlucky and terrible timing, especially with this one lifted deep to right, off the wall. And then over Cruz's head, it's an RBI double that clears the bases and makes it a 3-0 Angels lead. So while Alvarez will be obviously credited with those earned runs, I didn't really think that was on him. But he does give up a base hit here that allows another run to come home. The Angels strike first, and they strike quickly, making it 4-0. We had to actually get a mound visit out here for Alvarez just to settle him down. His confidence was really waning. He ends up settling down to finish out the inning, and I just didn't want to see us have to go to our bullpen too quickly. So Shoemaker, nice lead to work with, as Garver has this go off the shortstop's glove, Andrelton Simmons, who doesn't make many mistakes. And then we get Rosario on the ground right at second base. Routine double play, and the Angels send us into the 3rd inning. Despite the pitch count and the success for Los Angeles, we kept Yadier Alvarez in the game, and he gets 2 quick strikeouts to open the 3rd inning. And with an 0-2 count, strikes out the side, using that slider to get Logan Forsythe. Obviously, Alvarez is still a pitcher who's developing. He's very young, but seeing these early runs and how he responded to them in the 3rd and 4th inning, that did make me feel pretty good, as he got through those innings pretty cleanly. but the Twins needed some offense still. Sano tries to go down the line. Over there it's Suarez on to first, and he's retired. Then with one down, full count to Nelson Cruz. He'll draw the walk, giving the Twins a base runner at least. Couldn't get much off of Shoemaker early. Mitch Garver swings and misses as his bat begins to really cool down. Rosario then 2 away. He'll go up the middle, and the Twins get 2 aboard with 2 down for the second time in this game. And A-Ray Adrianza, welcome to the big leagues, and he singles into left, loading the bases and giving the Twins a chance to get back in this game. And here's Eduardo Escobar, who's hit well for us this season. But this is right on to first base. Valbuena tags the bag, and the Twins get nothing. Because of the 2 straight innings of solid work from Alvarez, I wanted to keep him in for the 5th. And we see the control there starting to lack a little bit. The pitch count was up there in the high 80s. So following the leadoff walk, we turn things to Trevor May, who promptly gives up a base hit into right as the Angels threaten to increase their lead. This is Cole Calhoun striking out on the high fastball, clocking in at 93. Now it's Luis Valbuena, and he swings and misses, but we weren't ready for the double steal. Sure didn't see that coming. Then a strikeout. Change up there from Trevor May gets the second out of the inning. And Suarez on the ground right side, routine for Harrison. Twins keep it to 4-0, but it's not going to mean much if they can't get any runs. Mitch Garver up again on the ground to third base. Nothing through 6 for Minnesota's high-powered offense. Matt Shoemaker putting together a great performance against us. May plays into the 7th, and the Angels finally increase their lead again as they get a double here into the right center gap. That makes it 5-0, and the Angels are able to go on to win this game as they put 5 more on the board in the 9th inning alone. Really bad outing for Tom Wilhelmsen, and I was just happy to get this one over with. A tough game 1. Yadier Alvarez pitched through some struggles, but he does get the loss in this game as Matt Shoemaker did a pretty phenomenal job, and the Twins lose by 9 runs. They ended up getting home runs from Sanchez, Trout, Pollock, Valbuena, and we'll take it to game 2 now. Here are the rankings, by the way, for where we're at as far as MLB rankings. We're 8th in average, 14th in home runs. You'd think maybe we're a little bit higher. We're pretty average at a lot of things, actually, except for the whole winning part. We're above average at that. Dallas Keuchel takes the mound, making his 6th start for the Twins, doing a great job as our ace. And here's a grounder to the right side. Harrison gets the jersey dirty, just 2 batters in, and makes a great play for the second out of the game. Harrison's defense was a big reason why I wanted to sign him to the multi-year contract, but his offense has actually been really disappointing to start this year. Now, against lefties, he does work higher in the order, so here he is against Andrew Heaney. First pitch, drilled into left and right at. That would be Cyrus Johnson in this matchup. The catch is made. Then Paul Goldschmidt, who got the day off in the previous game. He is still tied for first in home runs with 9 in the American League. He'll drill it to third base, and the catch is made by Eugenio Suarez. Top 2 now for Dallas Keuchel, Cole Calhoun. Can't square up on the fastball. 0-2 whiffs as Keuchel goes inside. Logan Forsythe the next to bat, and he's ahead of the changeup. Falling behind 0-2, he suffers the same fate. Another strikeout as Keuchel works very quickly here in the second inning. Bottom 2 for Minnesota. A hanging breaking ball, and that'll get us a run. Nelson Cruz to deep left. It's gone. Nelson Cruz is closing in on 400 career home runs, that being 394. And that was just a pitch that you can't throw against this lineup. And for those of you that are fans of physics, here are the numbers from this hit. An exit velo of 113, a hang time of 5. That's what you look for from a punt in the NFL. That's a pretty solid home run there by Cruz. And now we'll see Eduardo Escobar bat as he stays very patient. And that is rewarding him with a trip to first base. The Twins get a couple on board. For Byron Buxton, whose bat continues to disappoint. He's hitting under 200. 2-2 count here as he lifts one deep to right. Can't exactly tell where it is until it hits off that wood paneling. nearly a home run for Buxton, and because I couldn't see anything there, I thought it was going to be a fly ball. Buxton not the most powerful hitter, so this could have been a bases clearing double. Instead, we get a very well hit single. And this was a pitch outside the zone that he just takes the other way. I just wish we could have done more with it here. It was a missed opportunity. But here is Chris Jimenez starting at catcher, and he'll drive in the other run. Twins take a 3-0 lead, bottom 2. That takes us back to the top of the order. Charlie Blackmon up the middle. No, not going to get through. It's a double play, and the Twins are held to 3 here in the second. This is the position the Angels put us in the first game of the series. Now Keuchel, 0-2, another strikeout, this time with the fastball at the top of the zone. And with 2 away, Cyrus Johnson grounded to first, and the Twins have a very good trip the first time through the Angels' order, only allowing a walk. Here's Miguel Sano, bottom 3, and with 2 away and 2 strikes, Sano says not just yet. He singles, followed by Cruz, deep left center, it's down, and that's an extra base hit. Sano on to third, he has to hold up there, but the Twins look like they want more offense. So it's Jorge Polanco, now in the starting lineup, down in left field, it's a base hit. Another run scores, and runners at the corners for Minnesota. Are they done? Eduardo Escobar to first base. They're held to 1 more, but a good job battling there with 2 outs. Back to the Angels, top 4, Mike Trout, sharply hit into center, right at Byron Buxton, who makes the catch. Let's go into the 5th. Cole Calhoun trying to get something going for the Angels as he goes deep to center. Rosario back, still going, eventually tracking it down. I wish they would have showed how much distance he covered on that play. That was impressive, and it should have been Byron Buxton's ball. With 2 away, strike 2, as Keuchel did not miss his spots early, grounded into the shift. Harrison to first, 5 shutout, no-hit innings for Dallas Keuchel. Let's take it top 6. Just 51 pitches to this point as he racks up another strikeout. The changeup was on point, the fastball was productive, and they just couldn't hit it away from our defense. 6 great innings from Dallas Keuchel. We had the no-hitter back earlier in the season with Lance Lynn. Now we had a chance to do it with our new ace. The Angels turned things to Alex Meyer, an ex-Twins pitcher. Meyer facing Byron Buxton, who lifts this into center. It's got some carry, way back, and gone! Buxton narrowly missed the home run earlier in the game, but this time he gets it. He's actually doing a good job this year of getting RBIs, oddly enough, with an average below 200 and hitting in the lower third of the order. He's still like top 2, top 3 on the team in terms of RBIs. And there have been a few home runs for Buxton, so that is awesome to see, even if the average is not quite where we want it quite yet. Bottom 7, actually top 7, Andrelton Simmons, hit to short, here's Polanco, throw, not in time! Breaking up the no-hitter unless we can challenge it successfully. You know we have to right there to preserve the no-hitter. And plus, I thought it was an out. And clearly you see, it was. They overturned the ruling. Then Mike Trout with 1 away. Never an easy out. 1-2, hit to Polanco. Gathered in time. 2 away now for the Angels. This is A.J. Pollock's turn. Keuchel ahead, 1-2, and Pollock looking silly, waving at the slider. Another strikeout for Dallas Keuchel, and now just 2 innings away from the no-hitter. 1-2 count again. He did not mess around. Lifted into the outfield, lazily for Byron Buxton. We'll take care of that. Keep in mind, Keuchel was only at 73 pitches to this point. This is Valbuena. 2-1 count, actually ahead of Keuchel, but he can't do much with it. Keuchel covering, out at first. And now just 1 inning away from a piece of Major League Baseball history. Top 9, Suarez waves at the fastball. 1-2, got him looking with the slider. 2 more outs for Dallas Keuchel. Here's the catcher, Tony Sanchez. Strike on the outside, then missing the changeup to even the count. Keuchel gets him to fly into center. Buxton underneath it. One more out. That's all it takes. The Angels get their leadoff hitter. It's Cyrus Johnson, the outfielder. 167 average on the year. 0 for 3 in the game. One more here for Keuchel as he misses inside. 1-0 to Johnson. Grounded. Backhanded by Polanco. Perfect throw to first base. And Dallas Keuchel throws the no-hitter. The second for the Twins already this season. What an impressive effort by Dallas Keuchel, and he made this one look easy. There was a first inning walk that kept this from being a perfect game. But wow, this was really fun. This was on Hall of Fame difficulty, by the way. But with Keuchel, he just nailed the first pitch locations I wanted. His control was as good as I think I've ever seen here from using any pitcher. This game just felt perfect. Even though one hit could have ruined it, I was never worried they were going to get it. The Angels just never gave me a reason to worry too much in this game. We sim the third game of this 4-game series, and the Angels do end up taking it, so they're going to split the series at the worst. They end up getting 10 hits this time and win 10-6, as Lance Lynn has a tough outing. So we'll take it to the fourth game of the series and just try to get a split here against the Angels, as we have Maxwell Fowler on the mound. 4-0 already in his career, a 3.1 ERA. Very impressive. Also, he came into this game with almost a strikeout per inning and only 2 walks, which now becomes 3 with that quick walk to Cameron Maybin. But then it's Mike Trout. 1-2. A couple big swings and misses from Trout as Maxwell Fowler gets the strikeout. 2 down, 2-2 count. A.J. Pollock in the air. Not too much here for the Angels despite the walk. So, let's go bottom 1 for Minnesota against Garrett Richards. Pretty good numbers heading into this matchup, and Charlie Blackmon leading off, hitting just under 300. He lines a 3-1 pitch into center. Trout races in and misses the ball on the dive. It goes all the way back to the wall. Meanwhile, here's Blackmon. No slowing down as he approaches third. Headed home. It's an inside the park home run for Charlie Blackmon. And watch how lucky this dive was, or unlucky if you're supporting the Angels here. It misses Trout's glove and bounces in a way where it doesn't hit his body and slow down. So there's a 1-0 lead for Fowler, as he does not get the call on the corner and then walks his second batter of the game. He came in with 2 and gets 2 through just 2 innings. It was a very similar inning to the first, as they get the walk, and that is about it. Fowler having to use close to 40 pitches in the effort. Bottom 2, drilled to left. See you later, Eddie Rosario. Another home run for Minnesota. This one out of the park. We hit a fair amount of home runs, but teams are lucky that a lot of them are solo shots. I want to see us hopefully get some with runners on base moving forward. The 2-0 lead here for Maxwell Fowler as he gets the strikeout of Cameron Maybin, taking us bottom 3. Charlie Blackmon back up again. Once again works this count full and draws the walk this time. Probably still tired from that home run anyway, so that was nice to see. Josh Harrison's up next, and he'll drill this into center. Down in front of Trout as the Twins get 2 aboard. Here's Blackmon racing all the way to third base. Maybe he's not tired. Runners at the corners for Paul Goldschmidt. Here's a great opportunity. But Goldie misses 2 pitches up in the zone and ends up striking out. Richards hoping to bounce back. Here's Adrianza. Line drive, right field. It's a base hit. Coming home is Blackmon. The Twins take a 3-0 lead. Up now, it's Mitch Garver. Very quiet in this series as he pops up with 2 aboard. And there's not much that you can do with that. So, still 3-0 Minnesota. Top 4 for Maxwell Fowler. Here's Trout. Fouling away, working the count full, and another strikeout. Fowler gets him for the second time. He wasn't supposed to be a high strikeout pitcher, but he looks to at least be average to above average in that department. Here's a 3-2 count again. A lot of long at-bats as A.J. Pollock stays patient and draws another walk. A lot of this game was uncharacteristic for Fowler, as his own no-hit bid is broken up right there because I made a mistake over at short. That gives up a couple extra bases. And runners at the corners. We end up with this pitch getting away from Garver, and the runner will take second, so the double play is not in effect. 2-2 in the air to right. You can definitely tag on that. So a run will score for Los Angeles. They make it 3-1. Fowler just trying to close the inning. Eugenio Suarez, though, gets it through the infield, and that's a base hit to make it 3-2 Twins. Fowler does get through the inning and heads into the fifth, but his pitch count was starting to become an issue early on. He strikes out Maben, then Pollock in the air, headed to the gap, but enough time for Blackman to track it down. Maxwell Fowler only lasts 5 innings in this game. He just couldn't get those quick innings we wanted. Josh Harrison, bottom 5, lifts this to left, and that's his first home run as a Twin. That was right over the middle and there for the taking, and Harrison does not miss. Nice swing here. Very similar to the home run that we saw earlier in the episode from Nelson Cruz. So Harrison, I talked about his offense lacking thus far. I don't need home runs from him, but I'll definitely take them. This, by the way, our third solo home run of the game, if you include the Inside the Parker by Charlie Blackmon. Paul Goldschmidt next, and he's been very quiet in this episode, but gets himself a base hit, followed by Nelson Cruz. It's lifted deep left center into the second deck. Another home run. It's a 2-run shot this time. They just had some bad misses with their breaking balls in this episode, and we clobbered those misses. Here is Nelson Cruz with the second home run of the inning into that small second deck. It becomes a 6-2 game for Minnesota as we turn the game to Fernando Abad, caught by Polanco over at short. How about a line drive to second then? 2 in a row. You want 3? Here you go. We go from short to second to first, all line drives to end this inning. Weird one, isn't it? Baseball is a funny game sometimes. Top 7, this has a chance, hooking. Thank you to that Minneapolis breeze. 3-2 pitch, it's going to go into center. Buxton, what's going on out there? I thought we could catch it right there. It just ends up going past him. No Inside the Parker, though. It's just a triple. And then Cyrus Johnson will put this one over the fence in left. He's a low average, low power hitter. I did not see that 2-run shot coming. It becomes 6-4. Buddy Boshears does not last long as he gives up the home run, and then Trevor May, he gives up a 2-run shot. A.J. Pollock ties the game as the Angels put together a 4-run 7th inning. So much for getting Maxwell Fowler yet another victory. So top 8 now, we have Jake Reed in the game to hopefully settle things down, and Mike Trout strikes out again. He had the home run in the first game, but a lot of strikeouts in the other games to follow. Here's Eddie Rosario, bottom 8. Twins with 1 down do get a base runner, hoping to take the lead. Byron Buxton's average climbing to 194 with those 22 RBIs, and his average can climb even further with a base hit with 2 away. Up next, Charlie Blackmon. With 2 strikes, they start to really work away and try to get him to chase. It doesn't work. Way inside, both runners can advance into scoring position. Full count now for Blackmon. They'll just intentionally walk him. I thought that was a very interesting move, but it gives them the forces everywhere. But it does bring up Josh Harrison, who has been hitting well in this series. Had the home run and the single already in this one. And now another single to go with it. Into center, here comes Buxton. Twins get 2. It's an 8-6 ball game as we go top 9. Raisel Iglesias will look for his 7th save of the season. So far, righties have had a pretty good year against him, and there is another single, keeping the average well above 300. He then falls behind Luis Valbuena, who takes the count to 3-1. Then it gets full, and the line drive gets past Harrison. He didn't really look for the baseball there, and the Angels get 2 aboard. So they'll obviously sacrifice bunt, move both in the scoring position, and try to get 2 runs just like we did in the bottom of the 8th. So we intentionally walk, just like they did. We're copying their tactics, and they bring up Logan Forsythe. 2-1 count, Grounded to Harrison. Polanco back to first, and that's your game. Twins win 8-6. We end up splitting the series against the Angels, and the 2 victories in this series were a lot of fun, especially that no-hitter with Dallas Keuchel. So the Twins end up getting the win with Jake Reed advancing to 3-1 on the season. Not too bad for him. Home runs from Blackmon, Harrison, Rosario, and Cruz. Lots of action here. We're going to sim a couple more series now as we end up with an 11-4 win here against Oakland. More home runs for Blackmon and Buxton. Jose Barrios with a fantastic outing. We then lose our next game to Oakland as Alvarez had a tougher outing, allowing 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. We also lose the 3rd game of the series and just drop this series to the Athletics. We sim the Baltimore series as well and get some more bad news. Torn finger ligaments for Eddie Rosario, another long-term disabled list injury for this team. We win the series against Baltimore to take a 22-12 record into the rest of May. And we're going to have a 2-game series next episode against the Chicago Cubs, who have a very similar record. We're going to head down to Wrigley and see if we can have a good interleague series. We have a 2.5 game lead right now in the division with Cleveland just a couple games back. But now I have to make another decision. Rosario's on the DL. But we do get our farm updates for the month of April. And there was one that was very relevant. Zach Granite had a great month, hitting .309. So obviously, we go to call him up. He spent a very little amount of time at the majors in this series. Now he has a chance to maybe be an everyday starter. We didn't have the best outfield depth up there anyway, having Eduardo Escobar basically play when someone needed a rest. But he's also our best bench infielder, so I've been thinking about getting an outfielder up there anyway just to be depth. But now we have to get Granite to start, and I'm still thinking about calling up someone like Daniel Palka just for an outfielder that can give someone a rest every now and again. So I might do some more reworking to the roster. Daniel Palka's down there at AAA. He's hit 10 home runs already. And we're going to move forward now with Zach Granite as your starting left fielder. He should not bring as much power to the order as Eddie Rosario does. Rosario has that 30 home run potential. It's whether or not he reaches that. I think Granite is more of a 10 or under home run guy, but he is fast. So adding speed to this lineup I think helps because we're not the fastest team. But hopefully we can avoid injuries next episode and continue our early season success. Thank you all for watching and supporting this Minnesota Twins franchise on MLB The Show 18. If you are enjoying the series, please smash that like button and the subscribe button. I'll have that 2-game episode out before too long. And also leave your feedback down below on anything that you wanted to comment on about today's game. Or episode, actually. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.